We are live.
Woo!
Big day in the tourney. Big day. Wild.
Big day.
Huge upset. Beef. Let's get into it.
Before we get to the matchups, I just want to say there's been whispers around the internet. Sean Anderson even asked me the question in the spaces a couple days ago. Beef, is the 108 tourney dying because people have left this app? And as I told you guys before we started the show tonight, we had one of the all-time greatest impressions day of the 108 tournament today. So those are talking about our demise. They are completely wrong by this. The people that left for the other app, was nice having you here, but we got a bunch of people here anyway, and we're setting records regardless. Terrific goddamn day in the tournament, boys. Well, wonderful job by everybody around voting for this thing.
Insane
Awesome.
day.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to these matchups. Let's start in the White Sox Dave region. And we had the number 1 seed, Courtney Finicum. And she was going against the number 2 seed, Ryan McGuffey. Now, I was not sure coming into this how much these two would be engaged in the tournament. And I was pleasantly surprised how much Ryan McGuffey was and cutting content and being on hot tubs and doing 6-minute planks and everything and being at the liquor store, deciding on what he's going to buy if he gets the victory or whatever. And all of that ended up paying off as Ryan McGuffey, the number 2 seed, upsets the number 1 seed, Courtney Finicum, 51% to 49%. Ryan is the champion of the White Sox Dave region. So great job, Ryan. Boys, your thoughts?
I mean, he's making his play for the celeb turn.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, he really is.
He's like, why was I left out of that shit? And now I'm gonna run it here. So I mean, like he's on fire. He's doing great.
Boys, I was locked out of Twitter for a lot of the day today, and I didn't really care. But then I want to know, did Ryan McGuffey plank for 6 minutes again in front of Cap, or no planking today?
I don't think there was planking. I didn't see it. Like there was the lead up to drinking. He wasn't drinking on camera, but he's definitely buying some booze.
He was thirsting for it, is what it was. He was like, I'm ready to have a celebratory cocktail. And he was looking around the beer section. He stumbled. He was going to go Modelo, but he decided not to. He didn't actually buy while he was on the camera. So I'm interested, if he pops them in the comments, I'm interested what you bought, Ryan.
I think that's
the drink for victory. So
now Bearstown says I was in horny jail.
Probably.
I hadn't even tweeted anything but like this retweeted the 108 tourney. And then I went to one of my favorite thrift stores. And then when I got to the next one, I was checking and I was out, and I like wished I sent my condolences to Peyton for the loss of her mother. And then I was locked out right after that. So I was like, being a nice guy, where's it get you? Locked out of Twitter, apparently. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened.
I feel like there's more to this story, but I'm not.
That's what it was.
I'm not going to dig.
Yeah, so anyway, you were sent to horny jail. Let's move on to the 108 bracket here. And as you guys know, the 108 bracket is famous for having only participants with 1,000 followers or less on Twitter. And that was the case here, as we had Sammy White Sox, who was the 13 seed, facing the number 10 seed, Nicole Page, going to the finals. This morning, I threw down the decree, Treasy. I said, look, we need to get 1,000 votes in this bracket to save the 108 bracket so that it continues to be under 1,000 follower bracket. And people pushed all day, and I was impressed with the coordinated effort of everyone to push this thing up. And in the end, we fell a little short of 1,000. But I'll be honest with you, it was not the lowest amount of votes of any of the polls.
That's what I was going to bring up. If you're going to kick out this, you got to kick out the 11th ward.
Yeah, so I think even though I said the 1,000, we weren't the lowest, and the effort was really strong. So we will keep the 108 region in the future under 1,000 followers. We'll make sure we'll keep that pristine. It's always going to be that group. Back to the matchup today. We had Sammy White Sox, who last round defeated who they were calling the Ghost, Sox Grill MG, going against Nicole Page. And to be honest, this one wasn't very close all day. Sammy White Sox led early and just stayed up, and she ended up winning 66% to 34%. So Sammy White Sox is the champion of the 108 region. She'll move on to tomorrow in our Elite Eight. So congratulations to Sammy. Boys, what do you think about the 108 region and keeping the 108 region under 1,000 followers?
I like keeping it. All right. This has been one of my favorite regions. And the one thing that I always liked about the tourney is you find a bunch of new people to follow. And like each year, Beef, I know like 6 to 10 of the people that you put in this region. And then I just follow all the rest of the people. tons of great follows from that. So like, I'm glad that it's going to continue. And Sammy, great run so far.
Yeah, she's been whooping ass all the way. I mean, like, I don't think any of her matches really been that close. I mean, she's kind of she's had 65, 70% kind of the entire way. MSS, what do you think?
Well, you have a 13 and a 10 going for the championship in that bracket. That just makes there's a lot of parity that goes on in the under 1,000 follower thing, and it's great. John Navas like spanked out the gate. And we thought he was gonna have a good tourney run. Couldn't even do it. Couldn't even get it out of the first round. Very Ken Woe like. So yeah, I'm glad it's staying. Not happy that you went back on your word, but I think you justified it good enough. That's like, I told you couldn't have any treats today, but then your kid does something that you want him to do, so you're like, you know what?
You can have one.
You can have a treat.
Yeah, you can have just one treat. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is that kind of damning MSS, and really, I shouldn't go back, but I think it's a worthwhile cause this time. So we're going to end up doing that. So 108 region will stay. Only participants under 1,000 followers will carry that into the 2026 tournament. Moving on to the biggest matchup of the day. Yesterday I said we had an instant classic of a matchup. We had Alex Rude go against Missy Carroll. Yeah. Today, another instant classic of a matchup, and that was in the Sunday Soak region. I had set up this region
My God.
so that someone could actually challenge last year's champion, Maddie Spagnola, because she ran through this field with no problems last year, whooping ass left and right. And I talked to my man, Shy Sox fan Mike, and he's like, Beef, I'd love to come out of retirement. I think I can give her a run for her money. I said, okay, Mike, we're doing it. Let's put you in here. Mike was quiet, the last two rounds. Didn't do too much, but did enough to win. This round today, Mike versus Maddie, we tallied almost 5,000 total votes.
Insane.
They were going back and forth, pushing stuff out there. There are people pushing back and forth. The battle went back and forth the entire day. 51%, 49%, 49%, 51%, back and forth, until we got into the final 30 minutes, and Mike pulled just a little bit away. And Shy Sox fan Mike unseats the champion, 51% to 49%. Shy Sox fan Mike wins the Sunday Soak region after being out of the tournament for a couple years.
With a very fitting 108 retweets on that bad boy. Love it.
Absolutely. Was it all it was cracked up to be, boys? We tried to get this matchup going. We were seeing it kind of down the end. Was it everything you expected?
It was. I mean, like I was glad that like everybody's participating, everybody's getting into it. And I'm still a little bit shocked that Mike pulled it out, to be honest. I was worried about where his stock was. But yeah, he got in there. Got the one by what, like 1.6
1.6%. Exactly. That was the margin right there. Which turns out to be a fair amount of votes when it's 5,000 votes, but still.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, that's big, especially against somebody that's been like beating everybody like 60% to 40%. So like winning by 20%, which because I've just figured that out, is pretty big. So for him to overcome that, I was just checking to see what she had done for content wise, and she took a little easy. She didn't do any backflips, on Mike, but it's okay. It's okay, Maddie. Like, you had a strong effort. So yeah, I think if Maddie wanted to go all out, she could have done it, but she maybe she likes Mike, who knows? Maybe there's something brewing there. Didn't want to beat up Mike.
Also, MSS thinks she took it easy. MSS does not believe that Shy Sox fan Mike could beat Maddie, even though he just beat Maddie. That's what I'm getting from him.
I'm just
exactly
saying, like,
yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Oh, it's a paper champ right now, paper champ."
Not paper champ. No, I'm not saying that. No, hell no. That guy would kill me. I think he would kill all of us in this room.
None of us said except you.
Well, it's true.
We had his back.
If you're going to put words in my mouth, sure, feel free. Let's do that. That's good.
All right. Well, MSS is speechless on that one. We'll move on to the next bracket.
Clearly.
And that is the Whiskey Gotcha region. And the Whiskey Gotcha region had a lot of filthy 11th warders in there, including two that made it to the championship, the number 1 seed Bob Tolan and the number 3 seed John Walker III. I proclaimed that the winner of this region will get a chance to finish 4th in the next 11th ward aldermanic race. And I'm so glad that is the number 1 seed Bob Tolan. He coasted all day, 57% to 43% against John Walker III. This is back-to-back regional titles for Bob Tolan. He made it to the Elite 8 last year. He's in the Elite 8 again this year. Unstoppable Force Treasy or what? Is that how it is?
I think so. I see Mike is chiming in, though. He says, I see how it is, MSS.
There you go, Mike. Oh, yeah.
Mike Tolan says, future Alderman Bob. I don't believe it.
We'll see.
He got about 500 votes today. You got to come up with a lot more than that. You want to be the alderman? Shit, you got to come up with at least 600.
I mean, that's true.
Right.
I'm sorry, Mike. I am familiar with your game. But please, come out to the section this summer, and I will buy you at least 2 drinks, and then Beef Wolf will buy you more.
I mean, Mike drinks unlimited in the 108.
Yeah, that's
not even a question. Not even a question.
Yeah, Uncle Wally can get him some too.
Yeah, Wally, the guy.
So, what do you guys think about Bob Tolan running the table in the 11th Ward centric bracket, which is the Whiskey Gotcha region?
Definitely has the name rec among the 11th warders, but John Walker had been coming on late, and so like he was a late end of the day kind of run. But yeah, no, Bob, I think this has the name. So I think I'm glad that he carried that. I'm also glad that he was the number 1 seed and then he won that bracket. So that makes you look even smarter, Love.
I will say that I heard Bob Tolan was out campaigning St. Patrick's Day weekend. It was maybe campaigning at some of the local 11th Ward establishments, and people got a chance to press the flesh, and maybe that's what kicked him over in this and got him to the end here. So that's the way to do it. You got to get out there. You got to get out there with the people.
Absolutely, and we've all met Bobby T, and he's a wonderful lad. So not surprising to me that he got out there, pressed the flesh, ends up closing out in this region and advancing to the Elite 8. Next up, we have the Summer George region. Now, the Summer George region was dubbed the Bums region because it had a lot of the Chicago sports bums and their affiliate peoples flowing through this region. And getting down to the end, we had the number 1 seed Baloney facing off with the number 2 seed Liz, who I had to press into service. We lost our original number 2 seed. She jumped offline. She didn't want to participate. So I asked Liz, would you help me out, please? She says, no problem, Unc Beef. Happy to jump in here. And today, it wasn't really a contest much of the day. Liz walked 56% to 44%, knocking off the number 1 seed Baloney. And so Liz with a tremendous performance, not a lot of close matches, kind of running through here. A lot of pictures of exotic animals, which everyone loves. And she even responded to you, MSS, about the snakes, and she took pictures with snakes today. So it was a wild day, but a great victory for Liz.
It's an important thing for simps, the snakes, simps and snakes, boobs and snakes. It's just good stuff all around. Like she put a little Hello Kitty thing out there too. I saw, so she's playing everything, and I like it. And now the next round is going to be a little bit more work. So I hope she's ready. Even though Baloney was like a content factory, like the man is great and he puts stuff out there like crazy. It's just really hard to beat snakes and boobs. So
we got a drink from Baloney. He says this is bail money for MSS Twitter jail. Cheers, hermanos.
Thanks, buddy.
See you in Lot B. See you soon, Baloney.
Bless you, Baloney.
Yeah, opening day tailgate Lot B. Swing by. You can RSVP on their Twitter. So get on over there. RSVP.
You absolutely can, and we'll see him opening day eve too.
Oh,
that's
hello.
true.
Yeah, maybe something going on there. So Liz moves on to the final 8.
Congrats, Liz.
Great job, Liz, and thanks for helping us out and jumping in this tournament.
Hell
now
yeah.
you're in the finals. You got a chance to raise a banner. So that's what
You might get to take home some hardware.
Next up is the Wave Sucks region, and we had the number 4 seed Matt Crawford, who hadn't been doing much content throughout the tournament, and that had been going well for him. And he was facing off against the number 3 seed Can Dice. Matt Crawford got down a little bit early, and then decided to start tweeting. And for fuck's sake, that did not help him at all. Exactly, Tracy. That did not help him. People that were his former friends started turning on him. There was a sexually explicit meme posted by his best friend making fun of him. He absolutely got dragged. I know he lost the region also. He lost 52% to 48%. But it was the humiliation that was put upon him by the entire White Sox Twitter. That was fucking beautiful. It was such a fun thing to watch, man. It was even secondary to the goddamn poll. I knew he lost anyway, but he was getting clubbed out there on Twitter, and it was so fun, Treasy. What do you think?
People were acting like, when like this is a long time ago for any of us, but like, you break up with a girl and then you kind of like romanticize all the good things that ever happened. Yep. And you're like, oh man, I can't believe I lost that girl. And then the opportunity comes to get back with that girl. And you're like, oh, I'm jumping at this opportunity. And then all of a sudden you remember all the bad things that happened to Matt today. People were reminiscing about Crawford. And then he came back. He's like, here's some of my content. And they're like, vote for the other person.
Everyone's like, fuck this guy. You're get the fuck out of here. They were really wailing on him. It was a beautiful thing to see. You know, I couldn't have imagined it going better than it actually went, than it went today for Matt Crawford and him losing as well to just tie that on there. Candice did a great job. And actually, separate of that, she put out there a charity that she wanted to raise money for, and, you know, in honor of her daughter. And a bunch of you people out there donated to it. And last I checked, they had raised over $900 for the charity.
That's
just
awesome.
on the strength of today's polls. It's just amazing. You know, applause to all the people that donated and all you. This is
Thank you for your applause. I appreciate it.
This is what the tournament's for. You know, raising up these types of things and getting them out there and use the platform to push a worthy cause out there. So very cool that people are raising money. Candice moves on. She whooped that ass. Whooped Matt Crawford's ass. The internet whooped Matt Crawford's ass. So
that's
nice
awesome.
job for everybody there.
I would say that Matt also it drinks on the house when he comes to the 108, but we know how Matt can drink. So we'll get him one beer. We can't have his tab running all night. We ain't got that kind of money.
We'll bring him a 30 rack and just leave it in the parking lot for him. And he can have as many as he wants out there.
We'll sneak it in the park. We'll sneak a 30 rack in the park.
That's a great call. Next up is that classic view region. And in that classic view region, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we had an instant classic yesterday. Missy Carroll going against Alex Rude. Alex gets by Missy to get to the finals here. Yeah. On the other side, we have Mailman Jack, who had the shot at setting the record for the oldest winner of a region in 108 tourney history. We had never had anyone above the age of 50 win the region. And early in the day, it was looking good. Mailman Jack started out hot when all of us older folks had woken up and none of the youngsters were awake yet. And then as the younger ones woke up, the trend started going in the other direction. And before you knew it, Alex Rude was in control and rode it out. End of the day, won 51% to 49% against Mailman Jack and advances.
This looked like every time, Beef, that you lost in the tourney, this is exactly how it went. Mm-hmm. This is like you came out and were like, oh, Beef's me and MSS are messaging each other. I think Beef's got a chance in this one. And then like 10 a.m. hit and people way younger than us actually get on the internet. We're on there at 7 a.m. because we're
right.
And they get on there and then it was just all over. And then this is similar, but like this was a battle all the way to the end. This was not a blowout.
No.
Jack held his own for quite some time.
Absolutely. No, there's no question about that. And Alex Rude's just become a force in this tournament so far.
He's a force. The spaces helps. It really helps. You know, that's awesome.
I hadn't heard my son Trevor's voice in years. And I got to hear it today. I'm
glad you did.
Very excited.
Glad you did.
Very excited.
I tried jumping on yesterday and I was in the hot tub and they kept trying to get me to come on there and speak. And I can't speak. It's loud in the hot tub. And so I eventually jumped off because I'm like, I'm just going to put these jets on and just chill in the hot tub.
I don't know if you can do it on your phone, but on the computer, you can go in anonymously. So they don't know. And you can't talk. You can't respond to anything, but you can listen. That's what I like to do.
No, I don't want to do that. I want people to see that I'm in there because I have a decent sized profile. I want to draw more people to it if I could, but I just wanted to listen. I didn't want to say anything. I get
that. I guess it's not just about you wanting your popularity to continue.
I get people to listen.
You want
to
people to come into
the
spaces. I see what you're using your power for good. You're like Spider-Man. Yeah. Good stuff. Like a fat Spider-Man, but Spider-Man.
You know, yeah, pretty much. All right. And then closing it out, the Alley White Sox region, we had the number 1 seed, Alexis Lopez, facing off against the number 3 seed, Little Tina. Again, tight matchup all day. A billion endorsements. And in the end, Alexis Lopez hangs on 52% to 48%. She is only one of 2 number 1 seeds this year that made it to the Elite 8. Terezi, do you now believe in Alexis Lopez number 1 seed?
Beef, when you put this out, I questioned you. I said, why is Alexis a 1 seed? And I questioned if she deserved to be a 1 seed. And I think I'm finally ready to concede that Elon has ruined Twitter. And this is the evidence. If the
Blue Sky flight hadn't happened, there's no way she would have got that far, right? Is that what you're trying to tell me? How dare you?
This has been a great run for Alexis. I'm very happy to see it. And I owe her at least 2 to 3 Vegas bombs
Oh,
and
hello.
a couple skips on the touch tunes for questioning her.
Skips, just skips, just
The
skips.
the skip is the expensive part.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's
It's like it's sometimes at Cork it's like $45 to skip the 300 country songs.
Oh man,
Oh man.
so you're gonna give her $45 to skip things? I don't know. You guys might want to think about.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait till it's
Oh,
cheap,
okay.
but I'm just saying that's
Buy
smart.
me my pizzas
Smart.
that you still.
Hey, whenever you want them, I've offered them multiple times now.
No, you haven't.
He's always trying to plan it over some party, and you're like, no. You can't have a party.
He said he's just gonna send them over one day. Don't do that because my freezer is full. So don't.
Well,
do
see,
that.
that's the thing. You keep saying not
I
to do it.
appreciate
I want them, but I don't want them.
I
Yeah.
just want to give you a little bit of hard time.
He was like,
Uh,
"Oh, we're having a bunch of pizzas.
we have a drink."
a couple weeks ago," and I was like, "Hey, let's
Yeah.
let me send them over." And they're like, "No, the girls want Domino's, not Little
They
Caesars."
did. I
Fuck out of here. They wouldn't
I
know.
said. That's what I said. You know what? My dad's in town from Wednesday, opening day eve night until Sunday. I'm gonna have you send over some pizzas. You guys come over, have some pizza. We'll all have pizzas and whiskeys together, and then clog my toilet. It's gonna be a fun day.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
where's all
I'm
the shitting
shitting
going?
there too.
You can shit here.
You
Yeah,
stay here. Stay here till you shit, Teresi.
dudes.
Clear yourself out first before you go home.
Hey, put that drink up, and then I was gonna sing her praises. Tina, you
God
not
damn
that
it,
one.
Beef.
Not that.
Trying to mess with you guys.
Little Tina, good job this year. Like literally, you came back with the content. We were I questioned your health in the last one. I knew you had it in you. You still have it in you. Thank you very much for what you did for the 108 tourney this year with all that content. You did awesome, but Alexis just did better. So cheers.
From Tina, she says, "Great matchup all day and a great tourney. Cheers to you guys and go Alexis." Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
See-
you. I appreciate you.
Man, two of my favorite people, Little Tina and Willie P. I mean, just great salt of the earth people. Love them.
Yeah, Tim
Get
Maher
that
says hiding behind your kids, classic parent shit. MSS does that all the time. Kids ruin everything.
Yeah.
I think we've established that.
I think we got a drink for
Uh,
that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So
I
thank
listen.
you, Tim.
I told you guys the oldest one asked for Phil's one night, and I thought we had turned a corner. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Here we go. This is perfect." And then I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to get this Little Caesars?" Treasy owes me some Little Caesars. And they're like, "No, let's get Domino's." And I'm like, "Domino's is trash." I go, "Little Caesars is trash, but it's our trash. The Domino's
And it's free
is not-
trash in this case.
It's free. Yeah, exactly." So, cheers.
$3.99, fool. All right, I think it's time that we pay an advertisement, and then we're going to preview tomorrow's matchups, which is the Elite Eight.
Where are we at? 22 minutes? Okay. Yeah, let's do this one.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?
God, Lawrence, this is so good.
It is. I've been going there last Friday. With I was like, why haven't I been here in weeks?
It was a strong
But
move.
it was. Oh man, I'm still thinking about it.
And just hearing those people talk about those fries, I can still taste the fries in my mouth right now. How good those golden fresh fries taste. And if you guys like, I told this to Loaf. I didn't tell you it's Treasy because you weren't there, but they have a jalapeno ranch now. Because I'm not a big ketchup guy. I'm a dip my fries in the ranch. They have a jalapeno ranch. It's fucking fantabulous. So it was really good. And I was so angry at myself when I sat down and I told Loaf, I was like, shit, I should have got the goddamn jalapeno ranch. So now I got to go back next Friday and get the jalapeno ranch to put on those fucking fries. I'm
All
excited.
right, Beef. Give us these
see.
matchups, man. Because I, for one, never know how these brackets come together.
I was gonna say it's always out there, but it's you don't pay attention to it because why? Until it's time to get there. So
That's for you to know, Beef.
That's-
You tell us. You tell us.
This is for me to know. So tomorrow, Wednesday, March 19th, the Elite Eight matchups go like this. Ryan McGuffey will face off against What's Up Lizard. Alex Rude goes against Candice.
Nice.
Shy Sox fan Mike goes against Sammy White Sox. And Alexis Lopez faces the 11th Ward's Bob Tolan. Those are the Elite Eight matchups. You guys on the screen can see the brackets. We'll probably widely tweet this tomorrow so that everyone can follow along as to what the matchups are going to be going forward. But what are the intriguing? What's the most intriguing matchup to you? Chirizi first and Isaac Summer after him.
Well, Alex and Candice just feels like it's going to be a close one. I can't see that going really any other way than being very close to the end. So that's probably the most intriguing for me tomorrow. Because I don't know who supports. Like I don't know enough about the support groups of each of them and how much they overlap, or if the Venn diagram is just two circles. So I'm interested to see how that one goes.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a good one. I think the Ryan McGuffey and Liz is going to be a good one too. I'm interested to see the step ups on Liz here to see what if she has to step up to go against Ryan McGuffey. So we'll see how far it can go. But yeah, those two definitely. I think Alexis is probably going to stomp Bob. I mean, I think that's just going to happen. And if Mike really wants to win, I think he has the ability to do that too. I mean, the guy got like 2,500 votes today, so I feel like he can probably win the match if he wants to. So yeah, but surprise. So if I'm surprised, that'd be great. As Gabriel is saying, he is the manager for Liz, so I wonder what he has in store for her tomorrow. So good job, Gabriel.
We're gonna get some Gabriel videos on top of this. That's
nice.
You never know. Sometimes the manager's got to intervene. I agree with you guys about. I wonder how much Ryan McGuffey will push now that he's not in a bracket where it's just other media, quasi media. Because now it's going for the championship. Now it's like, hey, you could smell that championship and all the way get there, and to see if he wants to push there. Because there's a lot of Liz supporters, a lot of them. He's going to have to work if he wants to get all the way to the end here. And, there's some scary monsters coming from the other side, too. So it's a tough championship to win.
Let me ask you a question, though, Beef. Let me ask you a question on these matchups.
Yep.
If Sammy beats Shy Sox fan Mike, does it solidify the 108 region forever?
It does, yeah. We'll lock it in forever if she beats Shy Sox fan Mike. Sounds good to me. Absolutely.
I love it.
All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. Great day. Great day.
Terrific
A lot
day.
of fun. A lot of fun. We're getting close to the actual NCAA tournament. So that is, we're on the eve of that. And then we got opening day eve coming up for us. And then opening day. It's an exciting week, but we got more content coming for you. We got plenty coming. We got tournament tomorrow, Thursday night. We got Sammy P joining us on the 108 podcast. And then the championship of this tournament will be Monday. So let's go. It's going to be a good week. Let's have some fun, and we'll talk to y'all soon.